religion of the Jewish people, expressed in the words Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. The Jewish people lives. They tried to kill us, and damn it, they didn't, and we're still here, and we're going to prosper, and we're not going to let them do it again. That's the civil religion of Jews around the world. But the younger generation does not resonate to that. Because they don't see, of course I'm Yisrael Chai, you're alive, I'm alive, we're alive. What's the big deal? We're alive. It's no big deal to be alive when you've never been threatened with the opposite. Remember my Zionism got strengthened in 1975 at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and meeting those Israelis at Oxford in 1974, who almost died in the war. That was, they're alive, these Israelis, right? They chai. So this is a central dilemma facing us, that the Jewish people does not mean as much because its life is taken for granted by the younger generation. And we who don't take it for granted have to just bear with them. I can't expect them to think the way I do. They haven't had my experiences, but I'm going to testify, and I'm going to try to get them there to have their own set of experiences. And the love they have for Israel is not going to be the same as mine, but they're going to have to develop it on their own. Thank you.
So, wow. That's really what I've got to say. Chancellor Eisen, Arnie, thank you so much for coming and sharing your heart. So I think that goes to what this whole thing is about. When we look at each other face to face and share what's in our hearts about Israel and about what matters most to us about Israel, that's when we start to see the humanity in an opinion that might be different than ours. And that's what's going to happen next. What happens next after tonight is we have these cards in the back of the room on your way out. They are invitations for us to participate in the next level, personal conversations. We are hoping to host multiple sessions in people's homes. We're asking you if you would be willing to host one of these sessions. We're asking you if you want to participate in a session. We'd love all of our synagogues to have different homes sponsoring one of these sessions. And we are going to facilitate what are technically called curated conversations, which means we each have a set time to speak, we have a set time to listen, and we are required to look each other in the face and recognize that these are things that matter to us. This goes to our kishkas. And we hope that by having these conversations, we are going to come out with a more nuanced view of what another person might be thinking when it comes to Israel, with a way for us to communicate those views to each other with passion, but also with love, and a way to not feel attacked when we approach someone or someone approaches us with a different opinion. So that's what happens next. And how are we going to do this?
So I want to introduce Crittaline and Arlie. You want to come up? So Lisa, Craig, Ariel, and myself all participate in the Wexner Heritage Program, and recently completed a series on civil discourse techniques. So the idea behind these curated conversations is to use these techniques that we've learned, and the four of us will curate these conversations. I will tell you up front, they feel a little bit weird and artificial because there are rules on how these conversations happen. And everybody who was at these civil discourse sessions was very skeptical about these things going in. I will tell you, they work. They work in sort of weird ways, but it allows people to have real conversations about issues that may be very difficult. We finished a session on this up in at the Kennedy School just a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things that I came away from it with is particularly in this time, there were a lot of people, and these were Wexner fellows from around the country and from Israel, saying, civil discourse, is this really what we need, or do we need to be like, manning the ramparts at this point? What's the point of civil discourse? And the answer was, as Arnie alluded to, you're not coming into civil discourse to try to change somebody else's mind. You're not trying to score points. The idea is that you may be coming to it with a degree of certainty about your views, and we're going to try to open up your mind to be curious about other people's point of views. And the idea is to reach a point in which, not that you've convinced the other side of anything, but that you have a sense of caring about the other person, whether or not you agree. So the idea is to move from conviction to curiosity to caring. That's what we're trying to accomplish through this series of dialogue and curated conversations. Yes, all the political stuff is going to, I'm sure, be coming up in these conversations. It's going to be Trump, it's going to be Netanyahu, it's going to be the nation-state bill, it's going to be the Iran nuclear deal, all those things. And unfortunately, yes, Arnie said, oh yeah, that's only just the surface. It's a much, much deeper divide than that. Those are the things that we want to try to bridge. We will make every effort to have some of the Israelis who are in our community be present in these sessions, because these sessions really involve what our relationship is with Israeli Jews. So it's about American Jews, Israeli Jews being able to speak to each other, and American Jews with different perspectives being able to open up and care about each other even across difference. That's what we're trying to accomplish when we hope that you will join us for that.
So thank you again, and I want to, oh, we have a question.
I was going to say, I thought you guys look familiar. I went to something at the Reconstructionist Synagogue.
Yes,
in
we were here.
Montclair. I thought that was really fabulous.
Say it louder. What do you think of that?
Something where it really, I listened to people talk from a total opposite point of view of mine, and I guess I didn't realize that those people loved Israel as much as I do, and I really had a very big insight there.
What is your name now?
Susan Adler.
Susan was not a plant. So that was at my shul, B'nai Keshet in Montclair, and Ariel and I co-facilitated that, and it was as stilted in its structure as David alluded to, that people were not allowed to interrupt each other. We had very scripted, very un-Jewish, right? We had scripted questions, and what we were trying to drive at is, why does this matter to you as an individual human being? And we want everyone else to try to zip it and really open themselves and hear that. And I'm from that community, and so I put the panel together, and we had a pretty broad range of